Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of More Than Just Task Management, your favorite daily podcast where we help you build a thriving business. With me, Anna Angelova, a business coach and consultant, and Jores Minusfand, my fellow business coach. Hey, Jores.
Hey Anna, how are you? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday as we are recording today, and I'm doing pretty well actually. And I'm really excited about the topic we have today, right? Today
Yeah,
we are talking about an onboarding a new team member. And this is something that, along with the whole recruiting process, this is another thing that's so broken, especially in it, the corporate world. But also, we see the same thing with small, mid-sized businesses as well, right? A lot
yeah,
of leaders don't pay attention on how they do the onboarding, and it's really overlooked, and yet it's one of the most important parts of building a high performing team. So really excited about that, the conversation.
absolutely. You can hire the best person, the brightest mind, the one that aligns with your goals and your values. But their first experience is they sit around and run around and ask for shares and passwords and laptops and phones for the first week. The bad taste that will leave with them and the experience that will give them is you can't repair that damage. It just defies everything that you just did
Oh,
to hire them.
absolutely, absolutely. And it's really so important, those first impressions, right? And a lot of businesses do this incorrectly. And for in a lot of places, onboarding is just, oh, here's the login, here is the procedures, go through this course or read this document,
Mhm.
that's it, right? A
Yeah.
list of tasks, that's it. It's like some training videos, documentations that who knows when it was
Mhm.
updated last, right? So
Yeah.
stale and
Hmm.
talks about tools that are not there anymore. And the thing is that it leaves most people feel questioning, like, will I be able to, is this my place, right? Like, is this my place? Will I be able to succeed here?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
what the hell did I sign up for? And a
Indeed.
lot of, again, if this hits home, you're not alone. You're not alone. This is something that
Hmm.
happens everywhere. Like, we see it everywhere. We've seen it from the smallest of businesses to the largest of corporations. The process is
Hmm.
broken in so many organizations, and that's why we're having this conversation today to help you design a better experience. And I actually really want to emphasize the word experience, because
Hmm.
ultimately, just like you want to create an experience for your clients, you want to create an experience for your employees. And of course, it starts with, even with the recruiting. But again, once you say, okay, this is my person, right? Once you hire them, and the
Hmm.
the whole onboarding actually starts from the day you hire them. And there are some scary statistics, by the way, that a lot of people nowadays, they accept your offer, but then they don't show up on day one because they've accepted another offer and they went working somewhere in a different place.
Hmm.
So the onboarding process actually starts the moment they sign the contract. You want to engage
Yeah.
them, even if they start in a week or a few days or a couple
Hmm.
of weeks, right? Even if it is, you
Yeah.
still, like, you want to create that engagement and that experience from the moment they sign. So,
Absolutely. It's about integration. It's about helping them feel clear, at home, connected, confident. I remember, again, aging myself. In the late 90s, I joined a company that they don't exist anymore called Nortel Networks. It was Canada's one of the Canada's top uh, companies. It was one of the world top telecom. They had over 90,000 people working for them, and they had perfected the uh, the art of integration. I remember when I signed up for them a month before, I think they allowed a month for me or 3 weeks before I actually started from the day of signed. So that weekend, I received a package in mail that had all of their policies. It was about three or four printed documents, a video of instructions on where to go in, how to apply for the security access, which gate to go in, where will my desk be, my team and group be, who will greet me at the door, all the legal papers. I was so impressed. This is 1998, end of 98, 99. My first full-time job I ever had. It was contracting. These guys had perfected the art of integration. When I went to the office about 3 weeks later, I walked into the office, I walked through the security gate, my manager greeted me, I went to my desk, I logged in my laptop and I started working. And I
And
started working.
yeah, and this is so important because one thing that I wanted to mention is that another mistake a lot of, especially in corporations, we've seen, and a lot of businesses, a lot of organizations make, is that on day one, it's like, oh, come meet this person, come meet that person, and it's like so leisurely and everything, where like the first day sets the tone, right? Our first impressions are so important. So how you
Mhm,
start your first day, like it really sets the pace for how you work later on, right? So
mhm. It is.
yeah,
It
of
is.
course, there will be some introductions, there will be some things done
Mhm,
during the first day, but what you were saying, you start working. This is why you are hired, and especially when it
mhm,
comes to a small business, who has time and who can actually afford
mhm.
to waste a full day just onboarding, introducing someone. So
Yep.
great example as always, and this is
Mhm,
one of the reasons I love our conversations and like what you bring, right? Like all the
mhm,
experience you
mhm.
have, and again, it's creating an experience for your employees where it's
Making them
like we,
welcome.
yeah, and
Yeah.
empathy is one of the strongest, best skills you can develop,
Mhm,
and as you are, again, as you are thinking about an onboarding experience, like, just think about it. Okay, someone just signed a contract with us, like someone, we just hired this
mhm.
person. What's going on in their mind? What are
Yep.
they thinking about? What are their fears? What are their
Mhm.
desires? And
Yep.
work towards creating an
Yeah.
experience that removes their fears and satisfies their desires.
Mhm. Absolutely, especially the fear part. I remember before that I started again. I know I'm using examples, too many examples, but these are real stories. Like this was a 6 people company that I joined as my first IT job, and I faxed my resume in on Tuesday. I got an interview on Thursday. I was hired on the spot. And then at the end, they said, "Yeah, here we'll have the papers for you to sign." I said, "Okay, fine." So I'm assuming so it's Thursday, right? So tomorrow is Friday. Naturally, I'm coming in on Monday. Good thing I asked. So I said, "Okay, I'll see you guys on Monday." They're like, "Oh, no, 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 you're coming in tomorrow. You're starting tomorrow." And I'm like, "Oh, I am." I said, "But they said, no, every Friday we have company lunch. We want you to come in, join our company lunch. You'll be introduced to the team. You'll meet all of your team members. And then when you come in on Monday, you can start the work." And I was floored. I mean, I went from fear and stress to, oh my God, I found a home away from my home.
Yeah, and this is what you want your team members, your new employee to say, oh, wow, I found my home. This is my home. This
Yeah.
is how you want to do this. And like one of the things is welcoming them like this, right? Welcoming them in a way that creates this kind of an experience where they feel like they belong, where they feel like they're valuable. And then the other aspect, another really important aspect when it comes to new employees and onboarding is setting clear expectations
Yes.
and really,
Yep.
really focusing on the outcomes, not the tactics,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
really,
very
really
important.
focusing on this is why we are doing what we are doing. These are the outcomes we are looking for. And that's it. Because you hire this person for a reason. Like they
Yep.
bring a skill, they bring expertise that you might
Mhm.
not have, or like you're not that good at these things. So let them shine. And it really, again, it's really important to give people the context, right? Why are we doing, who we are, like all these kind of things, Give them the expected outcome. Really be clear on what success looks like, but then let them achieve the success on their own. Of course, you'll be there, right? Like you provide necessary training, you answer questions and things like this, but the idea is that you don't want to micromanage. The thing that we all hate is micromanaging, and especially as people are starting, you scare them off so quickly. It's not funny. Like
Yeah. Micromanagement comes from distrust and fear. The moment they start micromanaging you, you know that they don't trust you anymore, and you stop trusting them. It becomes a two-way street. It's it's such a trust is something that you build over time. Give them the expectations, trust them that they will do their job, enable them, and then you can review after. There are some people that maybe they're not able, so whatever the issue is, but yeah, you don't want to hire the best people from the market and then tell them what to do. You want to bring them and get them, trust them, enable them, get them to do what they're hired for.
And the trust can start with um, small task, right? Like it can not small task, sorry, more like of a small circle, right? So you can give them responsibilities in the beginning, of course. Like yes, they might have aced the interviews, but a lot of people prepare for interviews. So that initial onboarding time and the initial few months when people are with you, this is when you really test and see. So of course, you can give them in the beginning that trust can be for a smaller circle of responsibilities, right? And as they prove themselves, as they master these things, like you expand and expand and expand, right? So
Very interesting. You mentioned that the company that I told you that I started on Friday with lunch. Within a couple of weeks, the president, he was a very good judge of character. Within a couple of weeks, and again, I'm dating myself. Back then, we didn't have on download media. Everything was on DVDs and CDs. So we had a cabinet full of licenses for the company that was purchased licenses. I'm saying at least $100,000 worth of software licenses. He gave me the key for that cabinet. And he said, I trust you with this software because you need to do a lot of learning. You need to do a lot of installation and software and build servers and all that. That was a trust. He put his trust in me. He was testing me. And after that, it just exploded. We became almost like friends with him. He saw how I treated that cabinet like it was my own. I had paid 100,000 out of my own pocket. So, like you said, trust can be smallest things, but it shows them that you trust them, and then it gives them that sense of belonging and sense of not being watched all the time. And then flip side, I've been contracting places where they put a camera pointing at your desk. That's a contractor's desk. I'm like, I don't think I can work here. By the end of the day, I canceled the contract, walked out. So the trust is so important.
and these are again great examples. What you were saying with that smaller company, right? He didn't give you the key on day one, right? He
No,
gave
no,
you
he
the
didn't.
key like 2 weeks or a few weeks later. So as I was saying, it's all about, yes, give them control and responsibilities in a contained space, and then expand and expand as you see that yes, they are responsible and accountable for what they do, like that. Yes, this is the right person, like you expand it. And I think it's great that you actually brought this back, like the example with that small company where you started on Friday with lunch. So important. This is another aspect, right? So giving the context and setting expectations is one key part of the onboarding process when you welcome new team members. And then another one is the culture. It's really like I can't emphasize enough on how important culture is, and the fact that you are able to go for a lunch and connect with everyone on the team. And the problem is that a lot of onboarding processes are procedures, tasks, how we do things, right? This is what the focus is on, not that much on the culture. And we know that culture is strategy for breakfast. You want, again, you want your new team member to feel like they belong, that they are home. You want them to become part of your culture, and especially when it's a small business. We're talking about small business, like you probably have a small business, even if it's mid-sized business, right? One person who is not a fit for the culture can derail the whole culture.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I've had so many of those in my team the past 3 years. They have been systematically removed.
Yeah, and one thing you can do actually that really helps, and this is one of the things, just like they say with our clients, that they might come from the product for the product or the service, but they stay for the community, right? For some of the things, like something similar happens with your team, that initially they might come for the job itself, right? Whatever it is, including salary and things like this, but they stay because of your culture. They stay because of your team. And it's so important to create that human connection and even assign buddies, right? Even assign someone to be a buddy in the beginning, and then allow your team to foster friendships even, right? Let them become friends, because these are I don't remember the exact stats, but I know that like all the research that Gallup does and like all these companies do, like the findings are that if you have one friend at work, you are more engaged and happier than people who don't have friends at work. If you have two friends at work, it even gets better and better, right? So really, really important with the culture, like to indoctrinate them in a way, right? This is our culture. This is the words we are using. This is how we show up. This is what we believe in, our values, all these kind of things. So
Yeah. So we talked about all the orientation, onboarding bits and pieces. Let's put it into a simple flow. Can you walk us through a simple flow, like what happens week 1, week 2, week 3, 4? Let's just put it into perspective in like a package flow.
yeah, so a way you can package it, right? Like if you think about a simple flow for the first 30 days, right? Of course, like welcoming, like a welcoming meeting, and it's really important. Meeting with you as the business owner, depending on how big your business is, of course, the direct manager, like this is, we all know about it. Now, sharing the mission, values, and team dynamics is one thing that some companies do, but in a lot of cases, the mission values, they are just papers, like just something, a motto on the wall without any real applications, right? So really showing this, like sharing, and as I said, indoctrinating them with your culture, right? And of course, you want to make sure that all the tools, like everything they need, right, is available. Like week 1, you want to make sure that, and some things need to be set up after the person joins, right? It's normal. So making sure in the week 1, also making sure that all the tools, everything is available, and introduce with the wider team, key collaborators, again, depending on how big your team is, right? If it's a small team, like all these things can probably be done on day 1. And week 1, it's really important, get them started. Let them, give them actually something, a task that they can complete, and something relatively visible that they can complete within that first week, so you can celebrate them. So you can really make them feel like, oh, wow, I'm seen. I am actually creating value here. I'm not just someone doing something. And focus on building clarity, as I said, right? Like what success looks like. Focus on building comfort and that sense of I belong here. So this is, I would say, for week 1, orientation, relationships, and first wins.
Mm-hmm.
With week 2, I would say expand on week 1, right? Now really dive into start like even more tasks, like even more things for the role, right? Make sure that ownership, deadlines, expectations, everything is really clear and understood. So by week 2, these things should be, by the end of week 2, these things should be completed. This should be done. And of course, you want to start by the end of week 2, you want to start giving real-time feedback early, often, and again, as I said,
and positive
wins and the constructive feedback, right? You want to focus. That's why I said week 1, give them something that you can celebrate at the end of the week. You can celebrate in front of the whole team and say, what a great achievement, right? And then for the next couple of weeks, you also want to test them. Like you also want to start testing. And you want to start testing to see how people show up under pressure. Because when we are in stress, we show up differently. And this is one of the reasons I love the Energy Leadership Index assessment. And I'll actually put a link to it in the description of the episode. If you want to grab a free complimentary leadership assessment for yourself, highly recommend it. But one of the things is that under stress, usually, you know how it works. We go to fight, flight, or freeze, right? This is where we go, right? And from there, depending on how stressed we are, we get back to our normal behavior, right? And you want to actually see what happens when they're stressed. Like, do they hide? Like, do they go to flight or freeze? Or do they go to fight? Like, are they fighting? And then you also want to see how quickly they get out of the stress reaction and move towards being a productive team member. Because if they get stressed and this impacts them for days and days, you might want to rethink what's going on. So for the next weeks, in the first 30 days, right? So it would be what, weeks 3 and 4. Again, expand on depending on how they're doing, expand on their responsibilities. Give them the key to the cupboard if they deserve this, right? With the software. And of course, invite them to share their insights and ideas. Really make them feel like they're part of the team. Like really, again, you want them to feel like they're home. Reinforce the autonomy, celebrate the early wins, and also test them. Test them because you'd rather have them say, no, this is not for me in the beginning, not wait like half a year or so. And when something actually happens that is more, like, it's one thing to create that stressor, that test. You create it as part of the onboarding experience where it's like, I don't want to call it fake, but it's you created it, you generated it. And it's a different thing when suddenly something happens, like a real, I don't want to call it disaster, but things happen, right? Fires, shit everywhere, things happen. So you want to test them and see how they deal with fires, how they deal with when the shit hits the fan, how they, exactly, how they behave under pressure. Because when these things really happen, when it's something with a customer, when it's something with products or services you have, when it's something with your vendors, that they are actually equipped to handle this. So yeah, this is, I would say, like in the first 30 days, these are the things and kind of a flow that you might want to follow to really help people feel at home and that, yes, this is my place.
Yeah, they want to feel supported, seen, heard, part of the team, true part of the team. You can say you're part of the team all you want, it's all talk, but when you show it in actions, then you're setting up yourself and the new hire for success for long term. Very well put, Anna. Amazing.
Oh, amazing as usual from your side as well. I love your examples, and the examples really help put things into perspective and see how all these things we're talking about, they can be applied. And examples of, oh yeah, we've experienced this where we felt like such an amazing team, right? And I've also experienced onboarding where I was assigned a buddy. Like we walked around, she showed me the different places, actually even outside of the office. Like she showed me around, we walked and she showed me, okay, so this is the local pharmacy. These are some of the other places around. So it's not just within your business, but also locally in your community, the different places. This one is good for lunch. This one I wouldn't say you go there, right? You know, all these kind of things. And then of course we have had other experiences where we're like, okay, like you said, cancel the contract the same day. So again, it's so important how you onboard people. And what I would suggest is, if you have an onboarding process, take a look at it. Like take a look at it and see, based on today's conversation and some of the insights and notes you hopefully took, take a look at your current onboarding process and see if it helps your team member feel confident, connected, and set up for success. And if not, what can you update? Like how can you create, as I said, create an experience? And then if you don't have an onboarding process, maybe it's time to create new one. So
Yes.
it's time to create one, actually, not a new one. It's time to create one. And as I mentioned, I highly recommend, I am adding a link in the description of the episode. Highly recommend you grab one of those leadership assessments. They're a game changer. And every month we are offering a few of them as complimentary, because
we have a couple more left for this month.
Because we truly believe that they are, for any leader, that it's an essential tool. It's an essential tool for any leader, helping you grow an awesome culture, helping you build an amazing culture. And highly recommend, take advantage and
fantastic.
Click the link, go there, and we will actually see you tomorrow when we will be talking about, what are we talking about tomorrow? Let's see where we are. Oh, Everybody Matters. How could I forgot?
Oh,
tomorrow.
Yes. Oh, book another 2 hours, please. Get some coffee, popcorn, Pepsi, whatever you choose. We're going to be on now for about 2 hours, 3 hours. We can even read some of the excerpts from the book, Bob Chapman's book.
Tomorrow is our book club. So grab a glass of wine. I would say listen to this after hours, right? Grab a glass of wine, your favorite red or white. If you are here in our chilly part of the world, grab a glass of red wine, and or whatever drink you prefer, tea, coffee, and enjoy our mini book club tomorrow.
It will be an amazing session. I can't wait, Anna.
Oh yeah,
I'm ordering the wine right now, so
let's go.
We're not doing it 7 in the morning. All right.
Thanks, Jores.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.